Rivals.com here in Orlando for the Under Armour All-America game, talking about some of the players on the bubble that, we were talking about stand the most to gain with a big performance on Saturday after, watching them all week in practice here. And we'll start on the offensive side of the ball with Team Armour. Quarterback Garantano has probably been the best quarterback out of everybody here.
Yeah, by far. I mean, this is a kid that I've seen since 8th grade and I've been very critical of. He has to prove a little bit more to me. He's a Jersey guy. I've seen him so much. Sometimes when you scout and evaluate somebody so often, you see more flaws. His ability to escape and his instincts as to know when to flush out of the pocket and the way he throws on the run, I think he's been outstanding. He's put himself in that 5-star position, and if you told me this a year ago, I wouldn't have believed it, but he's developed so much.
And one of the guys he's been throwing to, wide receiver Drake Davis, has really been impressive as well.
Yeah, Drake Davis is a guy, he hooked up at IMG with Shea Patterson, who's a tremendous quarterback, and he's very raw. He doesn't run great routes, but he can get downfield. He's a big kid. He's a long strider. He's extremely athletic and fast. New to football still. You could tell he took a year off playing soccer, and a guy that I think has to have a really outstanding game to get that 5th star because there's so many things he needs to polish up on, but when you're looking for a guy that could bail you out as a quarterback, just throw it deep and he'll go get it.
Two defensive backs on two different teams now to talk about, one having a little bit better a week than the other, and we'll start with the good news. Chauncey Gardner was impressive. Talk about what you've seen from him.
I love him. He reminds me of Mackenzie Alexander. They play a lot of the same, with the same swagger. They really break on the ball. They're extremely instinctual. They don't bite on moves. He was breaking on the ball all week long, making some great plays, and I think he's a kid that I really liked coming in as a potential 5-star, and I think if he doesn't have a horrible game, and the game's the most important thing because that's live action, I think he's put himself in great position.
And then on the other side of things, Nigel Knott probably really needs a nice game on Saturday to get a good bump in the rankings, huh?
Yeah, he's right up there at the 5-star level, but he's a smaller guy. He's had a little bit of trouble with some of the speedy receivers, which has been the surprise. I thought the bigger guys would give him a lot of trouble, but most of those defensive backs on his team have been okay, not great, but he's the type of guy that I think is so explosive and so quick that if he reads a play right, he could end up having a pick or two. And I'll tell you what, he's going against some quarterbacks other than Garantano on the other side that could throw some picks. So if he has a big game, he can move up. But right now, Chauncey Gardner has done a better job of putting himself in position.
And then wrapping things up, one more guy that kind of hit the scene and took everybody by surprise, probably because Sam Bruce hasn't been on the field quite as much, but Tyree Cleveland has really stood out for Team Armour.
Yeah, they've needed guys to work the middle of the field because the quarterbacks have been flushed. So it's got to be quick reads, get the ball out. He is a great slot receiver. So first day I saw him, I'm like, okay, this kid's a lot better than I thought. He's ranked 201 in the country. Second day I saw him, I'm like, okay, this kid's got huge hands. He catches everything. He can do so much work down the middle of the field. And the third day I saw him, I was like, is this a 5-star? Am I looking at Travis Rudolph here, who had a great week, and obviously set a record for Florida State with 200 yards in the bowl game recently? Reminds me of him. So could you go from 201 to a 5-star? It's happened before. I just don't know. We're going to have to see. Is he a product of the quarterback play having everything to be shuffled to the middle because they just can't? They don't have any time back there, or will he, have a great game, inside, outside, in the actual live action?
So be sure to check out how all those guys do on Saturday when you watch the Under Armour All-America game.